Part of being married to a presidential candidate is taking criticism. And Romney has been targeted for being a stay-at-home mom and her fondness for horses. There are also questions about whether her medical history could be an issue. Tonight, Mrs. Romney talks with our own Dr. Mark Siegel about her battle against cancer and multiple sclerosis.
How has having chronic illness changed your life, your identity, how you look at life?
It certainly does change your perspective on life. I like to say that MS has been my greatest teacher. Cancer was also another great teacher. Sometimes I wish I didn't have quite so many wonderful teaching moments in my life. But it does help you be aware of others that are suffering. And for me, I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned from both having cancer and from having MS. Is compassion for others.
What about the fear of being sick, and what about the stress, and how do you cope with both negative emotions?
You know, it was a very dark time in my life when I was first diagnosed, and I went into a pretty dark place for a long time. And I think the thing that happens is that when you have a disease like this that takes everything away from you, for instance, I was so weak and I was fatigued, and so anything that I was doing in my normal life I could no longer do. And if all of a sudden the rug's pulled up from underneath you and you're left with nothing, you go through this phase of who am I and what good am I in the world anymore. Thankfully, I got pulled through that with the help of my husband and my children.
If Governor Romney becomes president, and there's a lot of stress associated with your role as First Lady, what if you have an exacerbation? How are you going to be able to rely on his support if he's drawn in a million different directions?
Well, we've been through this before. We've been through a lot of stressful times before. And I think sometimes when you have like a debilitating disease, I think sometimes it's just you make it through one day and you just put one foot in front of the other and you just keep going. And you know, you just have to always have that positive attitude that tomorrow will be a better day, and that there's something worth living for, and that life can be wonderful. I found joy in horses, and if somehow we can make sure that we keep joy in our life, and that is it's a great healing thing, I think, to have joy.
Talk to me some more about horseback riding and how it can be looked at therapeutically.
It's amazing. I mean, they are enormously therapeutic. Horses are healing. For me, the horses brought enormous peace and love, and after I would ride, I'd feel this calmness and this euphoria, and it would again, you know, show me that life is wonderful. So finding what is it that gives you joy in your life, and if you don't have joy in your life, we better find out where you can find some joy in your life, and then find some passion. And what is it that makes you passionately alive?
I'm very interested in the effect of stress on illness, and I felt that I and many people felt that you were unfairly attacked viciously by a woman in the media a few months ago about your roles in life at a time when you've shown great courage and have accomplished a great deal. How does that kind of stress affect you?
We all have stress in life. We all go through stressful moments, and I think we all have to recognize that we better learn how to go through it calmly and quietly, and not letting it, you know, almost get to the cellular level and start impacting our health, because it does. And so if you have perspective and recognize that, you know, what is the most important thing in life, and sometimes, you know, maybe the job really isn't as important as we think it is. You know, sometimes we make things into a bigger deal than they need to be.
Do you feel that suffering as you have has made you more compassionate and empathetic for others?
It's softened my heart. It's made me very mindful of others that are dealing with difficulties, and they don't have to be health issues that they're dealing with. And it's been amazing to me, again, to see the response of people when I go visit across the country, how many people come up to me. And this is the one thing that I have been absolutely blown away with, is how many women come up to me, throw their arms around me, and say, "I'm praying for you." And I think to myself, you know, this is a total stranger. I've never met her before, and she's praying for me. That does something to me. It just really touches me. And it makes me think, you know, this is what we all need to be doing more of. And it is an amazing thing to having gone through this, and to seeing how it's changed me, but also to see how generous people are across this country.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Our thanks to Dr. Siegel and Mrs. Romney. A super PAC